PNG to lead meetings in first APEC event. 12 PNG doctors to be on standby during APEC. And the Brisbane Broncos drawing fans everywhere they go.
This is the National EMTV News with Meribah Tulo.
A very good evening. Thank you for joining us for Friday's news. 23 Papua New Guineans will take the lead in chairing meetings during the hosting of APEC meetings and the upcoming Senior Officials Meeting 1 that begins tomorrow and continues for 2 weeks. A total of 78 meetings are expected to take place in Port Moresby. An expected 1,500 international delegates from the 21 APEC countries will attend SOM 1.
Nothing comes free.
The 23 chairs and co-chairs are secretaries from different government departments and offices, tasked with chairing and facilitating APEC meetings. SOM 1 Chair Ambassador Ivan Pomulio says they will be steering the conversations for policy discussion on a number of sectors, including tourism, agriculture and trade.
The meetings will be chaired or co-chaired or vice-chaired by a member of our officials team who will later be introduced to you. We're commencing Saturday tomorrow with the first meeting of the list, the Emergency Preparedness Working Group. That's going to hold its meeting at the Laguna Hotel.
Ambassador Pomulio explained some content of the 78 meetings that will be taking place over 2 weeks in the nation's capital in 5 different hosting hotels.
Hope to be able to crystallize a lot of digital economy issues that runs in, whether it's in structural reform, whether it's in MSMEs, whether it's in trade and investment. We want to bring those issues together so that it makes sense when we do the work going forward. There's an important task of implementing what is known as the Internet Commerce Roadmap that Vietnam worked hard last year for. And part of that includes negotiating between big economies like the US and China on where we will sit the mechanisms that will drive the work. That's an important work for us that commences in SOM 1.
Chief Secretary to Government Isaac Lupari said it's a positive time for Papua New Guinea.
And I'm really proud. And the government is really proud. The Prime Minister is very proud of the Papua New Guineans that have come out of H to be able to play a very important role in chairing the meeting, providing the leadership in this meeting, adding to the leaders' meeting in November.
Meanwhile, the Chief Secretary did not want to disclose the total costing for the hosting of SOM 1.
Why don't you talk about something else, about goodness? You think APEC, it's not going to cost us any money? Get real. APEC is going to cost us money. So when the APEC is concluded, we'll tell you how much we have spent.
Adelaide Xerox Kari National, EMTV News.
12 national doctors will be on standby during APEC meetings as a risk management procedure under security. Leading the medical assistance to APEC is Dr. Sem Yokopua, who is also the head of emergency at the Port Moresby General Hospital.
But for the normal illnesses, we've got situations under control. We'll ensure that all the venues and accommodation, our team look after the guests and respond accordingly. One of our key objectives was to deal with any major casualties, and so that's something that we've been wary of and working very close with the security partners. So they'll be actually preventing any of those big casualties. But in case of any spillovers, we're ready to take command and control for events in partnership with the private sectors and the NGOs. So most of our plans have been approved and endorsed by WHO.
Australian NRL team, the Brisbane Broncos, visited Vabukori village today as part of the community engagement program. Excited fans packed the village hall as the players made their way into the village.
Many villagers were starstruck as some of their favourite players made their way into the village. As the players took their seats, villagers flocked the hall to get a closer look at their stars. PNG-RFL CEO Reata Rao thanked the Brisbane Broncos management and players for making time available to visit the Vabukori community.
What you see here is the only chance to see the stars of this game. And what it does, it inspires our young children to forget involvement in drugs, abuse of alcohol, violence against women. This is what we preach, what we send messages to PNG Rugby and the Hunters throughout our community in Papua New Guinea as well.
Broncos players have been overwhelmed by the enthusiasm and support shown from fans since their arrival yesterday. Captain Darius Boyd says they are grateful for the opportunity to visit the country and are looking forward to their match tomorrow.
It's a humbling experience to be here and see you guys come and support us. We're looking forward to being here for another few days. It's a short time, but something we do look forward to. Hopefully bring a bit of joy and a bit of love to your life and your hearts. It's good to see all the kids here as well, and just to have your support, we do really appreciate it.
School children were given the opportunity to ask questions to the players about their rugby league career.
The question was, how many years have I been at the Broncos? This is my 16th year now with the Brisbane Broncos.
After questions and answers, a photo shoot with elders of the village was held. Village leaders say they are honored to have the Broncos visit their village, who are an inspiration to many people in the area.
Very, very inspiring. As you can see, everyone's pumped up, everyone's motivated, and it's important, when everyone's, feeling the issues of social issues and stuff like that, or unemployment and things like that. And when we have people like the Broncos out here to inspire and give a bit of moral support to the community, that's very, very special to us. And we're very grateful and thankful that they're down here today.
Well, people embrace Broncos, especially the kids. They only watch them on television, and to see them in person is just a topping of the cake, icing of the cake.
From Vabukori village, the team headed over to the Vision City Mall, where fans had the opportunity to take photos and autographs with the players. The mall was packed with crazy supporters shouting out their favorite players' names. Excited Broncos followers were speechless seeing their rugby league stars, with many saying they will be in full support of the Broncos at tomorrow's clash.
It's a privilege to come to the country. I'm proud to look on and almost to come to I'll be there probably 6 a.m. in the morning. I'll still be there. Broncos.
So tomorrow you'll be out there watching the game. You won't be supporting the Hunters, I guess?
Well, deep down I'll be supporting the Hunters, but I'm a diehard Broncos. I can't go past the Broncos then.
Elijah Ledet, National EMTV News.
Madang District is putting up plans to address the increasing law and order problem that has become a concern for business houses as well as residents. Madang MP Brian Kramer says under the Ward Development Project, a number of training programs will be conducted for law and order committees. Mr. Kramer is currently in dialogue with the Provincial Police Commander in terms of carrying out the training.
Through the clans, Madang District will put together a law and order committee to undergo training. Each member of a clan in the district will appoint a law and order committee.
We're actually now through the clans, we're going to put some training into law and order committees. So having discussions with the PPC in terms of carrying out training. So each member of the clan will nominate a representative for their law and order committee. They will undergo training. Their communities will be governed by bylaws. We will also conduct surveys right through all the communities and in Madang town, urban settlements, to identify criminals. So the community know who are the known criminals, and it's an issue of building a relationship between the government, the stakeholders of CIS, police, and the churches, as well as the court system.
This program is expected to take a year to complete. Mr. Kramer says once the year plans are rolled out, the district will follow the year plan structure to address law and order.
We expect within a year that once we've rolled out our ward plans, then we can go at the same time on the back of that structure, we'll go after law and order.
The Madang MP is also in dialogue with police in Madang and the police minister in terms of assisting the district in addressing law and order problems.
So at the moment now we're going to transition with our PPC. Police are being under-resourced. So once we've established that partnership and an MOU with the police in Madang, I've had discussions already with the Minister for Police in terms of seeking his assistance from the department so they can assist us in terms of addressing law and order head on.
Martha Louise, National EMTV News, Madang.
Still in Madang District's 10 million kina budget will go down straight to the ward levels for the community to make a decision on how to spend it. Madang MP Brian Kremer says as a member, he will not be doing any major projects nor awarding any projects, adding the money will go straight to the wards for the community to decide on how they will use that funding.
Well, the government has allocated 10 million. Last year, it allocated 10 million because of the cash flow crisis and the economy. We only got 2 million. This year, they've passed a budget for 2018 for 10 million. Again, whether we get 10 million or 2 million. So our budget will be the 10 million will go down into the wards. As a member, I won't be doing any major projects. I won't be awarding any projects. The money goes down into the ward, and then the wards committee, the community will make the decision on in terms of how they spend that funding. We're in the process now. We've set up a project office. And then now we're going to run the pilot 4 wards, and in terms of building the structure into the clan and the community, and then we'll fund. We'll fund each ward. Some wards, I said, will get up to 300,000, some 500,000, depending on the population. So we're going to carry out a household census, which we're now reviewing the questionnaire. We're carrying out ward profiling and clan vetting and social mapping. So it's the first of its kind in the entire country, where we're going down, taking up the bottom-up approach, and at the same time funding all the way down into the community. They will take ownership. For the first time, the community will see their tax money come back to them.
The Filipino security guard accused of killing his colleague, another Filipino man, is expected to appear in court next Friday. The case was listed for first mention before the Waigani Committal Court today, but adjourned to next week. The accused is facing a charge of willful murder and 2 charges of attempted murder. He remains in police custody. With Friday's news, among stories after the break, MAPRIC MP puts stop on vanilla green bean sales, and ITI and JCU become partners. I will be back with the details. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the news. The buying of green vanilla beans in MAPRIC, ECPIC, will be stopped. MAPRIC MP John Simon says if this continues, the value of producing the best beans will lessen. The MP says roadblocks will be established in MAPRIC to stop those transporting, selling and buying green vanilla beans.
The small town of MAPRIC in East Sepik is packed every day because of the high production of vanilla beans. About 500,000 to 1 million is circulated on the streets a day. With the vanilla boom at hand, MP John Simon says buying of green beans is also becoming common.
Green bean is totally banned. But if you're going to buy processed vanilla, you got to have license. Now we are going there, we are getting there to protect that industry. Because that is currently the livelihood of most Sepik Central. If we're going to protect that, only licensed buyers will be buying very soon. No other people is going to go into MAPRIC and buy vanilla. We have to protect that industry.
According to vanilla experts, green beans can severely affect the crop's best value because of how it's processed. The MAPRIC MP says there are many negative effects like stealing, which mostly results in fights and deaths.
So once we stop green bean, then if you steal green bean from somebody else's garden, where are you going to go and sell it? You can't sell it with MAPRIC. We're banning it.
It's a growing industry in MAPRIC, Wasaragavi, Ambuti, Drakikia and Yanguru Sausia. With MAPRIC the hub of Central Sepik, MP Simon says roadblocks will be set up to stop the trade of green vanilla beans.
Now once we set up the roadblock, only licensed vanilla buyers will be allowed to buy vanilla, even the processed ones plus green bean. Green bean is totally banned. But if you're going to buy processed vanilla, you got to have license.
Licensed buyers were also warned to help the district carry out the ban and maintain the high quality of the crop. Jack Lapava Jr., National EMTV News.
Secretary for Justice and Attorney General Dr. Lawrence Kalino says the department will be negotiating with each district in the country to establish a community justice service center. This is to allow for proper coordination on the work of law and order between the national and district levels. Rabaul District in East New Britain Province is one of the first 4 districts in the country that has put its hand up to establish a center.
This small but significant ceremony yesterday at Korakakaul on the outskirts of Rabaul town marks the groundbreaking ceremony for the construction of a Community Services Justice Centre for Rabaul district. The event was witnessed by the Secretary for Justice and Attorney General Dr. Lawrence Kalinoy, Rabaul MP Dr. Alan Marat and senior staff members from the East New Britain Provincial Government. The Community Services Justice Centre is a concept introduced by the Department of Justice and Attorney General with the primary aim of being a central coordination centre for all law and order justice programs, including village courts, land mediation, restorative justice and counselling. During the gathering yesterday, the Justice Secretary chose the occasion to remind those who gathered about the importance of law and order in the country and how the Department of Justice is investing millions into addressing the issue that continues to plague the country.
So through our coordinator on the ground, people like make sure people are strong in order to work where staff law side the law and justice sector.
In recent years, lawbreakers are dealt with in a relatively harsh way. They are processed through the legal system and those who are guilty are sent to jail. But the Community Services Justice Centre hopes to deal with the problem the other way. The Secretary believes it's a concept that will work.
A program from the sharing on them, people move on them, we all come to help people by our because only got more rich long all communities. No side long okay more work, cost side long all bit more cost effective. Long people got plenty cost.
Papua New Guinea's crime rate is increasing almost every day. One of the root causes of this issue has been leveled against a breakdown in family units and communities. The centre will now aim at addressing law and order problems at the community level and most importantly to break the cycle of crime and violence, something which has now become a way of life in most parts of the country.
Unless managed properly, Bayuminga, there's a problem all the time. Young people will turn to stealing, robbery, all these offenses because they have to survive. They are human beings just like you and me.
Edwin Fidelis, National EMTV News, Kokopo.
Ranking in the top 2% of universities in the world, James Cook University has announced its partnership with a leading education institute in the country, International Training Institute. The partnership is to provide degree opportunities for ITI's diploma students.
President and Managing Director Senthil Kurman Sentivo says the opportunity to allow diploma graduates to go through a bachelor pathway program with James Cook University has come at the right time. The partnership will not only give diploma students the possibility to study their degrees overseas, but to also adapt to international lifestyle and culture.
So we are trying to create more partners for our new programs and to build up relationships. James Cook is quite important because it's in Brisbane, so a lot of people are close by, and I think it will work well for all of us in the future. And I have seen their facilities as well. I've been myself physically and seen it, so it's very good, very high quality facilities in Brisbane. So we hope to work with them for the future, and we hope more students from here will continue with their degree programs up at James Cook University.
He says it's an opportunity provided for students wishing to continue further studies.
This is an excellent pathway for Papua New Guinean students. A lot of times overseas education can be quite expensive, and this is a great pathway, diploma pathway into our Bachelor of Business program. So basically students can get up to 8 subjects transferred if they do a diploma or an advanced diploma at ITI. And then when they commence studies at James Cook University, they will only have a remaining 16 to 19 subjects to do.
She says bursaries of 20% will also be available for continuing students.
James Cook University is awarding students with a bursary when they meet our entry requirement, and they will meet our entry requirement when they do a diploma at ITI. And then we also reward them when they're on campus. So we offer every trimester an academic scholarship up to $1,000 as well.
Other available pathways for students from other educational institutions will also be available to enter bachelor pathway programs at James Cook Universities.
Students can save up to 50% on their tuition fees, which is fast which is fantastic to get an Australian education. This is because of the credit transfers from ITI, because we recognize ITI as a high quality education institute.
Bachelor pathway programs include Bachelor of Business, Accounting Management, and Hospitality and Tourism Management.
So not only will they finish with a bachelor degree at JCU, but they'll have work experience as well. So we help students with the part-time casual labor they're allowed when they are a student. And then we also help students with internships and graduate employment.
Godwin Eki, National, EMTV News.
Over 3,000 students are expected to register at the University of Goroka for this year's academic year. That is according to the Pro-Vice Chancellor Teng Waninga. The one-week registration and orientation program started on Monday and classes are set to begin next week. The UOG Council announced a number of initiatives they've undertaken this year. One of these include the issuing of student registration forms with serial numbers and other investment projects.
UOG's Mark Salon Auditorium was packed with students as they gathered to be addressed by the institution's heads earlier this week.
Study, students, study. Use all resources available to enhance your training.
They announced the changes made to registration involving the use of serial numbers with each form. This is the first time this has been done.
We will issue you registration forms. It will be in serial numbers from 1 to maybe 4,000 or 5,000. You will register a name against a number.
This is to avoid copies of the forms being photocopied and circulated.
Registration forms are not for everybody. You cannot photocopy. You cannot give it to any other person because that serial number represents you.
The university expects to have a campus of up to 4,000 registered students this year. About 2,400 are continuing students, whilst more than 1,300 are new intakes.
But that will only be confirmed. We will probably give a report to the VC's office after we have enrolled all students and after registration is closed.
Registration started on Monday this week and classes are expected to commence next week. Lucy Kopana, National, EMTV News.
Still at the University of Goroka, students registered there will be covered under health insurance this year as part of the university's new initiative to provide medical care for their students. This is the first time this is being done at the UOG.
The moment they are registered, this year when our first year students register, and then the continuing students when they register, the final list of those registered students will now be submitted into our the insurance company that provides us the insurance cover, our health cover. So this is the first such initiative. The University of Goroka is trying to give insurance cover to the students.
Yeah, with Friday's news, we go for a break. When we come back, we take a look at health and education news. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the news. Jimmy MP Wakegoi is addressing a shortage of teachers in his electorate by sponsoring Jimmy students to study at teachers' colleges. Yesterday, a memorandum of agreement was signed between Jimmy local level government, the Chimbu provincial government and Simbu Teachers College for Jimmy students to study there. More on this story from our Highlands correspondent, Vasinata Yama.
The MOA gives an understanding for Jimmy students to study in Simbu Teachers College and for Jimmy LLG to help in building some of the school's infrastructure. Jimmy MP Wakegoi, under the District Services Improvement Program funds, will send 30 to 45 school and non-school leavers under corporate sponsorship to study in Simbu Teachers College. Another 5 students each will study in Enga Teachers College, Balop Teachers College in Ley, and Medeng Teachers College.
Like if we were to send kids in for next 4 or 5 years, at least we build a dormitory and at least we take some responsibility of the college, like, you know, sending out them, take care of transport to rural areas for teaching practical.
Mr. Goy said Jimmy LLG does not attract teachers due to its remoteness. About 75% of the population uses air transport as their main mode of transport. Goy said sending its own students to Teachers College will address this issue of teacher shortages in Jimmy district.
Bushline, look human resource where income come. All can work teacher, kisim sambra money. All can work doctor, nurse, or community health worker, kisim sambra money.
Simbu Teachers College was established in 2013, but it is still in its infant stages in terms of its infrastructure. The college was built after seeing a need for more teachers in the province. Chimbu Provincial Administrator Joe Kunda welcomed Jimmy MP Wake Goy and said the college, with the assistance of the provincial government and Jimmy LLG, will create more space and accommodation for Jimmy students.
Any institution at all. So the need was greater. So without much preparation in terms of infrastructure, the college opened, and therefore the province is also caught off guard with the number of students that have enrolled.
Simbu Teachers College Principal Joe Tekla Kaupa at the signing ceremony said the college has a few classrooms and more uncompleted buildings. Its students live with the neighboring villages or at their own villages and go to school. The school needed funding to build dormitories, and the gesture by the Jimmy MP is a good sign of more of such things to come later.
People with the same heart to come forward, to support, and to want to work with us. The door is open for you.
Goy said a funding will be made available from its DSIP to build a dormitory in Simbu Teachers College. Vasinata Yama, National EMTV News, Mount Hagen.
The Huonville Elementary School in Lae has increased with more than 900 students. The school is having difficulties to accommodate these students. The school's teacher in charge, Naomi Opens, said the school cannot build new classrooms since it is still waiting for its outstanding TFF payment of more than 190,000 kina for 2017. The elementary school is expected to receive 250,000 kina, but they only received 60,000 kina in TFF payments last year.
Huonville Elementary School in Lae is the biggest elementary school in the district with 940 students. The school has not received its tuition fee-free funds from 2012 to 2016 due to administrative issues. In 2017, they submitted their school census to the Department of Education and were expected to receive 250,000 kina.
We expect 250,000 because of the number of population that we have, but we receive only 60,000, which is less than what amount that we were expected.
The school is currently facing difficulties in accommodating the students in classrooms due to limited spaces available. With TFF payments of 190,000 kina outstanding, they cannot do much with 40,000 kina given to them by the Education Department last year.
We want the government, like education departments, to look into it seriously because of the number of children that we have, and because of the number of children that we have, we need stationaries for the school to run. That's why we want the tuition-free fee. They must pay it in full.
The government now owes 8 schools in Lae District that include 6 primary schools, a secondary school, and now Huonville Elementary School, 3.7 million kina outstanding in TFF funds. In Menyamia District, Ekwange Primary School is still waiting for the TFF payments of 40,000 kina. The government owes a Lutheran High School in Nawai District 1.2 million kina. Julie Badwi Owa, National EMTV News, Lae.
Still in Lae, Panamax Pacific visited Huonville Elementary School this week to educate children on the importance of drinking milk. The company's marketing manager, Simon Tahani, said it is important to educate children at an early age in order for them to grow up strong and healthy. The company will be visiting 18,000 children in elementary schools throughout Morbe Province.
In a dairy product or milk.
Huonville Elementary School was the next stop for this anchor team from Panamax Pacific, led by the company's marketing manager, Simon Tahani. The elementary school came alive when the students participated in different programs yesterday. They were educated on the importance of drinking milk, how to make fully creamed milk, and the strength of the Anchor brand milk.
We feel that as a company, as a distributor, it is sole responsibility as we get the product into the country, get it on shelf, we must educate our consumer benefit of it. That's our responsibility.
I'm very happy for Panamex company to come and make this awareness for the drink. I think this will really help us and also help the children. And now we know the importance of this Anchor milk.
Panamex Pacific visited the school with this new taste sampling truck. The truck comes with a TV screen installed for the children to see and know the importance of Anchor brand milk. They visited AOG Christian Academy and Buimo Road Primary School last week.
Anchor, which is produced by Fonterra in New Zealand, we believe it is important that we must educate our consumer, our upcoming population, our upcoming young children, and the next future generation of this country.
The company has planned to visit 18,000 elementary students in the 3 districts of Morobe, Lae, Yuen and Nawai. Julie Badui Owa, National EMTV News, Lae.
The Department of Education recently developed the Water, Sanitation and Hygiene Program for schools. Anglicare PNG will be piloting the implementation of the Wash in Schools program in 6 different schools in NCD. A workshop highlighting the importance of Wash in Schools was conducted this week with head teachers and board of managers of the 6 pilot schools.
6 schools in NCD have been chosen to conduct trials for the Water, Sanitation and Hygiene in Schools program, also known as WINS, which was recently developed by the Department of Education. Anglicare PNG will be piloting the implementation of the program in collaboration with UNICEF, Department of Education, Health and NCD Education.
The 6 schools in NCD, and once it is up to a level, that is, these 6 schools will be the ones that will be going out and advocate to other schools in the country to follow what they've been doing. So this workshop here is actually, we have brought in the head teachers, the board of management chairmen, the parents and citizen chairmen, the parents, the school inspectors for the 6 schools. So they're the key players on the ground who will ensure that there's tangible outcomes like a good toilet, a good hand washing facilities.
In a workshop, head teachers and board of managers of the 6 schools were informed of the importance of WASH and how best they can support the program in their schools. Also highlighted was how the program fits into the current education system. WASH team leader Jess Perambon also gave a presentation of what was happening in schools at the moment.
Now it's for us to make sure that that policy becomes a reality, and it falls on you and me as teachers who are teaching at the school level.
Ms. Perambon said being hygienic and healthy in school learning environments is vital to prevent diseases and help children to access quality education in comfort. The expected outcome of the WASH in Schools program is to improve students' attendance and learning outcome.
This applies to all the schools in the country. So we have to build something on the ground so that our development partners can confidence for the government and help us, support us to roll out that to other schools in the country.
Lilian Sopera Kenea, National EMTV News.
Community leaders from neighboring villages that attacked Surumarang village in Madang have held a reconciliation ceremony to restore peace. Community leader Stephen Amof says this is to allow Surumarang villagers to rebuild the village. The understanding is to also help villages located further up the North Coast Road to move freely without fear of being attacked.
On Wednesday, community leaders from the neighboring village who were blamed for the attack on Surumarang village gathered at Surumarang. Both village leaders have agreed to negotiate peace and normalcy at Surumarang. The neighboring village brought foods and a pig as a traditional token of establishing peace between them. The understanding will also open up the free movement of people and vehicles to travel to and from the collapsed bridge.
Reconciliation may take place, or bringing peak na kai na kansan motion, explaining all yet finished now. May plasigani go come na all something and be free now.
Meanwhile, Surumarang village has also presented a demand to community leaders from the other village. In the demand, Surumarang community leaders demanded at least 350,000 kina for the 14 houses that were torched. The other village has 2 weeks to meet the demand.
One house and by 20,000 kina lo building new house, so we plan camping more than 350,000 kina by me almost giving in order to building more new houses. And demand lo me plan lo paper.
Community leader Stephen Amuv said the reconciliation ceremony follows a conflict that erupted 3 weeks ago. The fight that had occurred has nothing to do with Surumarang people. From reports given to police, youths from Surumarang had rescued a PMV bus from further damaged and saved the driver and his crew. Another community situated near the collapsed Bana Bridge attacked the driver and his crew. Thus, villagers from Surumarang intercepted and saved the driver and his crew and took the bus into the village for safety. However, the village was surprised when men from the nearby villages mobilized and went into Surumarang, burning down 14 houses. Martha Louise, National EMTV News, Madang.
The Telecom Cash Draw number 17 was done today. The 5 winners that were announced are users on Telecom PNG's variety of products and services.
This morning's draw saw 1 winner picked from its ADSL services, 3 were from the 4G LTE mobile service, and 1 was from the fixed line service all the way from the New Guinea Islands. The Telecom Cash Draw is into its 17th round.
This is the 17th draw for Telecom PNG's free giveaway promotion, 100,000, but every week we are giving to 5 lucky winners.
There are 3 more rounds to cap off the competition.
If you are lucky, you could be one of them. We encourage our customers to top up 20 kina and above. If your name is drawn, you could be a lucky out of that. Every Fridays.
The telecommunications company will be launching a social plan in the coming weeks. Harry Agimbari, National EMTV News.
Yeah, with National EMTV News, Port Moresby has a blockbuster lineup of rugby league tomorrow. We take a look at all that in Trukai Sports after these messages.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. We begin with rugby league, and injured PNG Hunters captain Ase Boas is confident in the Hunters team to face the Brisbane Broncos in tomorrow's trial match. The Hunters and Kumul's 5'8" said the match will be a good test for the team as they prepare to defend their title in this year's Queensland Interest Super Cup.
The Hunters captain says the team is preparing well and is ready to face a Broncos team filled with NRL experience.
I think I'm a good experience for the team. I think the first time we play Panthers 2016, but I'm not been full strength. So this time around the Broncos or Kawanta is a full strength team. So a good experience for boys.
Boas, who will be watching from the sidelines due to a hand injury sustained during the World Cup period, says the trial match will be a good experience for the Hunters' new recruits and for their preparations for this year's Queensland Cup.
Yeah, I think I'm looking forward for this trial match. Play against him or Broncos, yeah, but I can't do anything because the doctor and boss, so he ruled me out. So yeah, I'm looking forward for this one. But anyway, I'll be sitting outside, but at least encourage the boys when they play there.
On his injury, he says come round 1, he will be fit to lead the team.
Yesterday I just got a last X-ray to confirm everything, so it's recovering well. So I'm looking forward for the first game in the first round of the Inter Super Cup. Yeah.
With his absence tomorrow, fullback Stargrowth Amian will fill in as captain, with former Lace Next Tigers Charlie Simon to partner younger brother
Watts and Boas in the halves. Boas says the Hunters need all the support from fans when they face the 6-time NRL premiers, the Brisbane Broncos.
Just the trial match, so at least the boy give their best, so we need the support from all over most people to come along. At least give a moral support. Most of the boys are new boys, so at least they give a taste of this level.
Stanley Over Jr., National EMTV Sports.
And in the captain's run this morning, both the Snacks Nandi Aviators and Lay Snacks Tigers at the National Football Stadium. Both teams said they're ready to lock horns in front of a sellout crowd tomorrow. Head coach of the Lay Snacks Tigers, Stanley Teppen, says his team's goal is to go in and win the match. Meanwhile, president of the Snacks Nandi Aviators, Joe Gray, says the Aviators are coming in with a new game plan that's worth a positive outcome.
Defending champions of the Melanesian Cup, Lay Snacks Tigers, who are ready for the double header at the National Football Stadium, did their final training session today under the watchful eyes of head coach Stanley Teppen.
It'll be a big day tomorrow. We're really looking forward to it, but if we can hold the ball early, I think we should be winning comfortably, because obviously they've flown here and the conditions will suit us better because we've played in this in this environment before. But having said that, I think they're really excited as well. So just a good start for us to lay the platform, and then we should be getting with a comfortable win, get home.
He says winning the Melanesian Cup title last year in Fiji, he has no doubt the Lay Snacks Tigers will do it again on home soil with the home crowd advantage.
We want to win this game. We want to win everything that we compete in. Although we're under the same umbrella, I think we really need to win this and look forward to the Digital Cup. Our big focus is getting our combinations right and using this as a trial moving forward to the Digital Cup.
Meanwhile, President of Snacks Nandi Aviators, Team Joe Gray, said this morning's session saw a lot of young players who have come on board this time around and will be spearheaded by a few international players in the team, including the captain, Tosateki Suvau.
The captains have a wealth and a vast of richness of experience. They were selected not only because of their experience and their history, but because of the guidance and mentoring and the attitude of leadership that they possess, which are good characteristics of what a leader should be. That is also part of the selection criteria that we have back at home. Skill is something that you can teach. Attitude is something that you cannot change.
He says the selection for the Snacks Nandi Aviators wasn't a mistake and believes the boys will do well come tomorrow.
For us, it's an elder brother and a younger brother rivalry for tomorrow. At the end of the day, the best representative that upholds the Melanesian Cup wins.
Meanwhile, team captain Tosateki Suvau says the team is definitely going to give their best performance and may the best team win.
It's a different team coming this year. We prepared really well. This year is a bit different. As you all know, we are under one banner, the Snacks. So the Snacks are Tigers and Snacks Nandi Aviators.
The startup line for the Lay Snacks Tigers for tomorrow's match stands at fullback Joe Joshua, winger Billy Anderson and Anderson Benford, centres Charles Martin and Nicky Pillow, 5'8" Edwin Ipape, halfback Mafu Kales, for the props Ismail Balkawa and Mark Pitti, second row Junior Rob and Tiger Imere, lock-in scrum is Ismail Kambi, number 14 Noel Joe, forwards Jojo Waramas, Paul Mogua and Rex Yalon, and the 18th men Sydney Fred, and co-captains Paul Mugua and Ismail Balkawa. Godwin Eki, National EMTV Sports.
The Brisbane Broncos had the captain's run this afternoon at the National Football Stadium as well. The team ran through their usual training drills during their training session, though Darius Boyd, Jack Bird and Jason McCullough will not be taking part in tomorrow's match. They were out with the team, participating in different fitness drills. The match is set to kick off at 3:30 p.m. tomorrow at the NFS. To football now, and an update on NSL team Madang FC's plight. The club was able to send off to New Zealand 13 of its players and one official today, with 6 other players to join them tomorrow. This was confirmed by MFC chairman Dr. Mia Komlong. It was a different story 2 days ago when the chairman, along with some key members of the PNG football fraternity, appealed to the public for cash donations to make this trip possible. And now support has been shown as this team leaves for New Zealand, carrying the PNG flag to compete in Pool C of the OFC Champions League. The team still needs additional funding to finance the stay in New Zealand until they return on the 4th of next month, and they are still in need of the public's continuous support. They will be meeting the likes of host Auckland FC in this campaign. We'll be back with more of Trukai Sports after these messages. Don't go away.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome back to Trukai Sports. Very quickly to the Pyeongchang Winter Olympics, and two teens battling to be crowned ice skating queens in the ladies' individual figure skating.
Russian superstars Evgenia Medvedeva and Elena Zagitova will take to the ice later on Friday, having traded world record performances in the short programme on Wednesday. Despite being fierce rivals, the two trained together in Moscow and are close friends off the ice. At 18, Evgenia Medvedeva already has been a dominating force in figure skating for years, winning back-to-back world championships to go along with her 2 European championships. Now, during this period, she accumulated a staggering 12 world record performances. 3 years, Medvedeva's junior, 15-year-old Elena Zagitova has already taken a major scalp in beating Medvedeva to take the European Championship last month. Having previously posted several junior world records, she made a big splash on Wednesday, beating Medvedeva's short programme world record.
And that wraps up Trukai Sports for this evening. Up next, the weather details for the next 24 hours.
Trukai Sports. Trukai Sports.
The weather details were proudly brought to you by Dulux, celebrating 50 years in PNG and the only paint made in PNG.
A quick look at the weather for the next 24 hours in the southern region. A shower to expected all across the region. Port Moresby, Daru, Kerama, Alotau and Popondetta.
Details were proudly brought to you by Dulux, celebrating 50 years in PNG and the only paint made in PNG.
And that's the news, sport and weather for today, Friday, the 23rd of February 2018. On behalf of the entire EMTV News team, pleasant viewing. Go the Hunters. Good night.